Hey, welcome to another episode of Atkins Diet in the Kitchen. My name is Kent Altena, and this week we're going to be doing another snack recipe idea. Yesterday was literally America's Test Kitchen in here as I was trying out variations of this recipe multiple different times, multiple different ways, and I think it finally came up with the winner. This week's recipe is going to be deep fried cheese balls, and come along with me as I cook them up. Alright, so I have about a 6-ounce chunk of cheddar cheese here. You can use cheddar cheese or any other cheese like Colby Jack or Swiss. I prefer to use a more flavorful cheese, like a medium sharpness cheddar cheese. So, cut them up. And I tried freezing the cheese before I battered it, as well as after I put the breading on it. And I really came to the conclusion that putting it in the freezer after I finished breading it came to a better cheese consistency. And then I did some variation testing on do thick cheese slices work better than thin cheese slices? And I came to, after the conclusion that I did need to put it in the freezer, that having smaller cheese slices ended up helping the cheese balls, because if they were too thick, the inner piece of the cheese balls would still be frozen as the outer piece was just starting to melt out. So basically I'm cutting it into basically 1-inch rectangles, and that was my conclusion yesterday, that size and shape worked out the best. And if you're pressed for time, they do sell cheese cubes already, but I think that your selection of blocks of cheese is a lot more than you can ever get via the cheese cubes that you can find in the store. Alright, so with that done, we need to measure out a ½ cup of crushed pork rinds. Basically, I just took pork rinds and ran a rolling pin over it until they basically reached a consistency of just flakes. To that, I'm going to add a ½ cup of Parmesan cheese, grated, and roughly 1/4 teaspoon of Cayenne Pepper. At this point, you want to just mix it together. And then piece out the cheese to be put into it. Alright, so now that you have a bunch of the cheese already in the product, basically give it a shake, get the coating on top. Doesn't have to be perfect yet. Alright, now we want to crack 2 eggs. And beat them. Grab a plate to put the cheese balls on. Alright. Take some of the pre-coated ones out. And basically you just dunk them in the egg wash or the egg bath and put them back in the breading mixture. Trying to shake off any excess before you put it back in the mixture. Give it a shake. Alright, and then you take the completed pieces off. If you need to, if it hasn't quite coated enough, you could run it through the egg bath and do this one more time. I think mine are looking pretty good at the moment. Okay, so there's the first batch of cheese balls. What we want to do is put them in the freezer now for about a half an hour so that they freeze up really hard so that the breading will stick to it when we put them in the fryer. We'll catch back up and I'll start preheating my fryer at 375 degrees and you'll see me then. Alright, so the cheese balls have been in the fridge for a little bit longer than I originally thought. I got called out on a fire call. So now comes a decision point. How do you want to fry them up? Well, if you have a deep fat fryer like I do, they work really well in there. However, you don't necessarily need a deep fat fryer. You could just take a frying pan and put about, a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of oil in the bottom and just fat fry them in there. You're actually guaranteed more of a success this way. The cheese balls won't leak out as much as they would within a deep fat fryer, but you don't quite get the same sort of country fair type taste out of it. So I have my oil preheated at 375 degrees, and basically at this point you're just tossing the cheese balls into the deep fat fryer. And you don't want to put too many in because obviously as the oil cools off they're more likely to leak out. So while they cook in here, just basically rotate them around. And it'll probably be about 2 to 3 minutes inside the deep fat fryer, at which point we keep rotating and then I'll dump them out on a paper towel lined plate. So I'll show you the finished product. I want to thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye.